This the introduction. Yep, I'm introducing me. 6 feet, 300 pounds, known to rock the newest sneaks. Coolin', never fooling, rocking G-Shocks like it's jewelry. Counting mad currency, flowing better than fluently.
What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy, the honorable and beautiful black man, Brian is back in here with another YouTube video. And today, guys, I'm going to talk about the condition of young Muslim men in the Western world. So, guys, before I get into this video, guys, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to comment below, guys, and talk about your own struggles being a Muslim man, or even a man in general in the current day and age. Cop some King Kamara t-shirts, Jackson t-shirts off my websites and Teespring. The links will be in the description below. And most importantly, guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can continue to deliver you guys content every single day. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So, you guys may know me that I am a African-American Sunni Muslim man living in the United States of America. I've lived in the United States of America my entire life. I was born a Muslim and my parents were also born Muslims. So, it's interesting, guys, that this problem that are plaguing Muslim men isn't exclusive to Muslim men, but it's a problem that must be addressed and must be acknowledged in the male Muslim community. You see, guys, we live in a extremely progressive, hypersexualized environment where marriage is on the decline, monogamy is on the decline. It's an open sexual marketplace. And Muslims are taught to save themselves from marriage and not have, extramarital sex, premarital sex, and essentially remain virgins till marriage, which in other countries is easier to do. They have arranged marriages. When they do get married, they have very specified gender roles. There's certain expectations of both the man and the woman. People in Muslim countries tend to, be married a lot longer, have more kids, and more happy family lives, overall. And people say, well, no, they're not. I'm saying, well, look, over here, yeah, most people that commit suicide in the United States are men. Those men are divorced men. And divorce in the United States is above 50% currently. And 80 to 90% of all divorces are initiated by the woman. These are facts, guys. I have resources connected to these below and links. Yeah, check that out. And also behind here, you can see for yourself. So it's really hard out here. And in addition to that, guys, I also spoke to several other videos where it's like an 80-20 rule when it comes to men and women in the United States, where the majority of women are looking for that one guy or a specific group of men in like the top 20, top 10% of men, the guys that can provide extravagant weddings, the guys that can take them out on trips, the guys that can specifically take them out on boats. That's not even just to get married. That's just to date women, unfortunately, nowadays. And yes, there's a bunch of guys who are broke that get a bunch of girls to pookie and ravers. You know that, the guys that use weed or alcohol, whatever, to get laid. We know all that. But we're talking about Muslim men who, by and large, don't do vices and are trying their best to uphold to their religion by remaining virgins till they're married. The problem is, guys, nowadays we have a very feminist, womanist culture who is promoting women not to dress modestly. They say they so-called, back up and say they support Islam and say no Islamic phobia. But if you say that Islam will promote women not dressing loosely, not dressing promiscuously, and covering themselves, the Western liberal mindset does not really support that. They're trying to break women away from being submissive wives. They're trying to break women away from being modest and dressing what Islam would consider very inappropriate, and also no longer being virgins, instead of exploring their sexuality as much as possible, especially in college, and then settling down after they get out of their sexual prime, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, and I know this firsthand, I know this from having a bunch of friends in the community. I know their struggles. I've been around. I know a lot of people. A lot of the quote-unquote good Muslim men, a lot of them do get married. That's mainly because they find themselves in some kind of arranged marriage situation, if they're from like a Pakistan or Indian-like country. But if you're like the average dude, right? You can't get married. You grow up, you go through puberty, you have sexual urges, and you can't get married because no one wants to marry you because you can't take care of her. And then you go to school, you try to save yourself. There's a lot of debauchery going on in school. You go through school, get a good education. A lot of these Muslim brothers are smart. They get a good job, and then they still struggle to find that wife that they're looking for because they're old, and then the wife looking for is hopefully also a virgin. If she's pretty, 9.5 times out of 10, she's no longer a virgin. On top of that, these Muslim sisters also have a multitude of partners, and this is not even exclusive, unfortunately, more like even the Black Muslim community. This is also spread out to all kinds of Muslim communities, whether they're Indian, Arabic, Pacific Asian, or whatever the case may be, Turkish. These Muslim women are no longer becoming the Muslim wives that these young Muslim men are expecting, and that is quite troubling because these men are opting out of the sexual marketplace, hoping to avoid the pitfalls and struggles that other non-Muslim men are going through when it comes to dating and whatnot, because Islam doesn't really look, Islam kind of frowns upon dating in large part. You know, it's kind of, no, it's no boyfriend, it's girlfriend, you basically just get, you know, married. And so they're in their mind, they're thinking they're skipping all this problems, you know, breakups and drama and whatnot, and go straight to marriage. And then they have a hard time finding a wife and getting married at a young age, and also two, when they do get married, their wife comes with, you know, a lot of experience, quote unquote, and that's not necessarily healthy because she's sampled a bunch of men. She's probably trying to please her family by, you know, getting married. And I know a lot of, you know, liberalists are gonna just be like, yes, let her be free and whatnot. But if she has some kind of religious conviction that she also is proud upon, she's gonna kind of revert back to her religion and kind of try to get married, and then the man's virgin and the woman's not. And that's a problem that Muslim men have today. And it's really sad because a lot of these Muslim men, they're completely oblivious to that fact. They're literally thinking because they're, you know, praying 5 times a day, they're obeying their God, whatever, they're gonna like find this, you know, pure young Muslim woman to marry one day in the United States, and then it's a problem because the women nowadays, you know, they're seeing Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, they're going wild, they're doing all kinds of things, and even if they're attractive women or hijabi women, they're getting targeted by non-Muslim men, attractive non-Muslim men, and they take them and they have their way, and then they get sent back because, of course, these non-Muslim men are trying to marry these Muslim women, so they sent these Muslim women eventually have to go back to the Muslim men, because in Islam, Muslim men can marry outside the religion, but Muslim women can't. And Muslim women also believe in that, so therefore, after they get done having their fun with the non-Muslim men in college or whatever the case may be, they try to go back and find a good Muslim man. And on top of that, most of the good Muslim men who kind of stay on what, quote unquote, the straight and narrow path, the mosque, which is like the equivalent of a Muslim church or a Muslim synagogue, the mosque will kind of push like these single mothers and these overweight women or whatever the case may be onto these good Muslim men so that they can get married. But that's not what these young Muslim men are signed up for. They have much higher expectations, so they live a chaste and to their minds like an honorable, you know, life, hoping to get married, and then they got to deal with either leftover women, undesirable women, or take used women in that case. So yeah, like the reason why the people like in Afghan and whatnot and Syria like are fighting so hard against like the Western armies is not just because they're trying to be terrorists or anything like that, but they're fighting for their right to have submissive and pure virgin wives and have stable families. They see what's going on in the West, and they see how the family structure is crumbling all over the place, how the women have become men, the men have become very feminine, and they're like, no, not us, we're not doing that. Like, you guys may have fancy cars that drive around and flat plasma screen TVs that are like 85 inches, but no. You know, you guys still drowning your miseries in alcohol on weekends and committing suicide. We don't want that. We're going to stick with our pure Muslim virgin wives and have our families and raise kids and yada yada yada. That's our game plan. And the sad part is, guys, I'm a man about solutions and everything like that, but it's gonna be a really hard fix to fix that. Not only in regards to the, you know, the American culture as a whole, but specifically in the Muslim communities across the United States, unless we become more strict. And it's going to be hard for the Islamic communities to become more strict when they're constantly battling, you know, this liberalist progressive movement. And on top of that, the Islamic communities have oftentimes been hijacked by these liberal progressive movements to push their agenda, say like, look, all these conservatives, they're racist and they hate you for being Muslim, and they, you know, so you got to join us, but at the same time, you guys can't tell your woman to cover, you guys can't tell your woman to not have sex and outside of marriage, you know. So it's really the struggle at that same point. Until we kind of wake up to that fact, and as a Muslim community, it's going to be a struggle where a lot of people in the Muslim community aren't going to get married, are going to have a hard time continuing on these values that we grow up with in the Muslim community and build the families that we need to like maintain a strong community as a whole. But anyway, guys, that's my thought on the situation, guys. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to comment below, guys. Let me guys know if you have any solutions to our current problems. Cop some t-shirts off my websites in Teespring. Link will be in the description below. And guys, most importantly, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can continue to deliver you guys content every single day. It's your boy, Brian Meezus, the beautiful black man. I'll see you guys next time.